Welcome once again to another edition of Cool Cars and Interesting People. Our cool person this time round, Jim Steacy. He's going to the Olympics in Rio de Janeiro, so we'll have a chat with him. Right now we're going to talk about the 2016 Santa Fe. It is from Integrity Hyundai. Shane Mazatinik, come on in here. This, you know what? I think I was one of the first guys to ever own a Hyundai back in the 80s. It was a pony. You've come a long way from then.
It has come an awful long way from those old Hyundai vehicles, and our customers are loyal. We've had a lot of customers back from your day if you owned one of those, but they're really enjoying the new features of the 2016 models.
Okay, so the Santa Fe, the 2016 edition, what's special about it?
Well, the 2016 Santa Fe, first off, its engine is a 2.0 turbocharged engine. What that gives you is great horsepower. You get 265 horsepower, 269 pounds of torque, and so what that does, it gets you going, Mark. It keeps you going with unmatched fuel economy.
Yep. Any other special features? I guess you got all of the bells and whistles on this thing?
Yeah, like you got a very stylish, dynamic design that's matched with a spacious interior, and in that interior you're going to find upscale amenities with very smart design. In this vehicle, you know, some of those bells and whistles that you talk about, obviously a proxy key start. It's got smart tailgate lift technology, memory seats, heated and cooled front seats, heated rear seats. You got a full panoramic sunroof on this vehicle. And then you bring in the safety features of that car. So you got an engine that runs that vehicle. You got unbelievable amenities inside, the safety features, and in Southern Alberta, everyone likes to feel safe whether you're traveling by yourself or with your family. 7 standard airbags, blind spot technology. You've got rear cameras and sensors. You've got the stability control system, traction control system, brake assist, you name it, we've got the safety features to keep you and your family safe.
Well, I'm mostly concerned about making sure Jim Steacy's going to be healthy on his way to Rio, so if there's an accident, I'm blaming you.
No, the driver the driver's more responsible. We'll give you all the bells and whistles to keep you safe. But I know who Jim is, and that's going to be an interesting interview.
Right.
I'm glad I'm throwing you in there because he's a big guy.
Yes.
That vehicle there will tow 3,500 pounds, so you guys can rip up the West Side Hill if you want with no problem with him.
All right, on our way to see Jim Steacy.
Hello.
I didn't know ZZ Talk was in town now. Jim Steacy.
How are you?
Good. You want to go for coffee?
Sounds good to me.
I need some. I need a little pick-me-up. Come this way. So I'm told this 2016, see that it says Hyundai Santa Fe. Just so you know what it is. They say this is big enough for you.
Here's open. Thank you.
You shut it yourself.
All right.
This goes here. You know, all these new cars have the engine, the push thing. Yeah. Okay. You ready?
Yes.
Okay. Drive safe. And of course, you know that this is a Korean.
Yeah.
I've got Kim Jong-un in the back.
Uh-oh.
So today was this is a day you've been training. Do you take a day off from training?
Usually on the weekends.
Weekend?
Yep.
Like 2 days off? Or
Yep.
is that?
Yeah, I get both days.
Do you pretty much need to do that? Is that?
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do with 5 days a week and doing twice a day every day. So I get 10 training sessions a week. It adds up quite a bit, or quite quickly, I should say. So
now the beard. How long have you been growing the beard?
this is about 8 months.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's it?
That's it. I started in May.
You were a hairy bastard.
Thank you.
Is that any reason for it? Is that just to make
just to try it out?
Yeah.
I told my wife, you know what, I'm going to try growing a beard, and she said, okay, go for it.
Yeah.
She won't let me shave it now.
Oh, really?
No,
She likes it?
She likes it.
Wow.
So I figured I'd let it go till at least through the Olympic trials this year, see how big it can get, and then decide from there whether to trim it or
or
keep
apply,
it. So
apply for Duck Dynasty.
there we go.
Yeah. So, I mean, you're born, raised Lethbridge guy, right?
I was actually born in Saskatoon.
Oh, were you?
Yeah.
Saskatoon.
But we moved here in 1990 when I was 6 years old. Dad got a job at the Agriculture Canada Research Centre.
Right.
So, but I did all my schooling here from grade 1 through graduating university. So,
yeah,
this is home.
This is, I mean, and you've said many times how important Lethbridge has been to you in your whole life.
It's such a great city, you know, and it's been so good to my family, and you know, it's a great place to grow up. It's a great place to go to school. Going to university here, it gave me a whole new appreciation for it. And, and there's nowhere else I want to live.
Really, it's interesting because you virtually have been everywhere in the world. Well,
I've been fortunate enough to compete on every continent, so I've been very lucky that way. But you know, every time I come back to Lethbridge, it's like a breath of fresh air, and it's almost a relief to be home. So
and just the size just fits you right.
It does. It does. I'm not a big city guy. At the same time, I'm not a real small town kind of guy. I like to have, you know, access to certain amenities, and you know.
So you're not a Calgary guy, and you're not a Tabor guy.
No, I'm just that happy in between.
That's right.
You know, and you know, Lethbridge is close enough to the States. It's close enough to a place like Calgary. It's close to the mountains. You know, it's close to everything you want to do. So, you know, it's for my wife and I. It's perfect.
So in the course of a year, you know, how much are you training, like in a year? Do you take like a month off? Do you take 2 months off, or because you have to kind of gear it towards what the next competition is, right? Yeah.
So usually right at the end of the summer season, like right at the end of my competitive season, I'll take between 6 and 8 weeks off just to completely detrain, de-stress, completely not think about it, you know, because it becomes so consuming.
Have a cake.
Yes. So, you know, and I'll do things like play slow pitch, you know, spend a lot more time like getting out with my dogs, spending time with my family, with my wife. So, but usually from about the end of October or middle October through the end of August is just go. You know, 5 days a week, you know, away for a couple weeks at a time doing training camps, or, you know, flying overseas to do competitions, that kind of thing, getting ready for national team opportunities. So it is a full-time job. Yeah, you know, and
but the thing is, you know, the full-time job, but you get such little funding, right, from the government right now, even though you're a high level.
Well, right now
athlete.
I've got none coming from the government. No, my funding got cut off last year, just for a lack of performance. Like my certain injuries didn't allow me to perform at the best of my abilities last year, and it's a result-based thing. It's a result-based occupation. So it's, you know, I didn't put up the results, and you know, as a result, my funding got cut. Thankfully, I do have some sponsors in town here that
that's good.
Really, you know, make it possible to keep doing what I'm doing.
Hey, mention them.
I can't.
You're not allowed to?
Not allowed to.
Really?
Yep. That was their request, was to.
Really?
Yeah, it was. To remain completely anonymous. So.
Well, can you lend me $100 then? You don't have to say who gave it to me.
No, but without their help, you know, there's no way I would have been able to do from 2010 through till now. Like there's no way any of that would have happened. Like,
I mean, so would you have to pay, like, because you'll be going? The next thing is what pre-Olympic trials?
So I have a competition in Phoenix. It's usually my start of the year competition every year over Easter weekend. Right. So, you know, I wouldn't be able to afford to go down without that help financially.
Yeah, because do you pay for the flight?
Yes. Yeah, everything is out of pocket.
So,
the only time right now, the only thing that I would get covered from the national team or that kind of thing is when I'm actually with the national team. So say the Pan Am Games last year was all covered, or you know, the Olympic Games this year, if I qualify, would be all covered, but I have to pay my way to the Olympic trials. I have to pay my way to every competition. I have to pay my training fees, my gym membership, all that kind of stuff, facility rentals. All comes out of my own pocket. So
I didn't realize, well, I guess again, if you had the results that you were hoping for, all of that would have been covered?
It would have been
mostly covered?
Mostly covered. Like if I do get the funding from Sport Canada, it's $18,000 a year.
And even then,
and that's still below poverty.
Gosh, that's what I'm making.
But it's you know, it's tough because, you know, it's in the karting. It's called Sport Canada Karting. Yeah. But in the documents and booklets you get, it says this is not meant to be your sole source of income. But as a full-time athlete, you know, you're training for 2 or 3 hours first thing in the morning, you're training 2 or 3 hours late in the afternoon. No one's really looking to hire you part-time in the middle of the day, but you have to recover, you have to, you know, get therapy, you have to fit time in to eat. You know, it is a full-time job, you know, so it's tough.
You have to be surrounded by people who understand this. I mean, your wife has to understand why you do what you do, right?
Well, between her, my family, you know, my mom and dad, and my close friends, you know, like, they all understand that I've got the opportunity to do what 1% of 1% of people in the world get the chance to do. You know, there's only ever been, I think, 3,500 Canadian Summer Olympians.
Wow.
You know, so to be able to count myself as part of that select group is something, you know, it's a once in a lifetime thing.
I always have to grab myself and, you know, when I see, like, the London Olympics, Canada got 1 gold medal, I believe, right? And, you know, part of me says, oh, come on, Canada! But then I have to say, well, hold on a second here. This is the world. And these guys have just committed an unbelievable amount of time. And okay, they didn't win medals, but doggone it, they did the best they could. And you gotta take your hat off to that. Don't you? I mean,
you do. You know, like in 2008, I finished 10th out of the 32 that were there. You know, and that's 10th in the world in my actual sport. You know, so it's, I didn't win a medal. I didn't get to bring something tangible home. But at the end of the day, I can say, you know, I made the Olympic final. You know, and I can always say, you know, I'm an Olympian. You know, that's something that can never be taken away from me. You know, so it's something I definitely don't take for granted, and I definitely don't resent it at all.
Hey, found a parking spot.
Bonus.
Only because you're an Olympian. Okay, if you hear screaming from Kim Jong-un, just ignore it.
Deal.
Okay. We're going to it's called the bread, no, it's the bread, milk, and honey. That's what it's called, okay?
Sounds good.
Good. Have a chair. You know what's going through my mind right now? If I had a hammer, I'd hammer in the morning, I'd throw it in the evening, all over this. Sorry. It just was this earbug. Earworm, whatever it is. Okay, so where are you at right now? You're training, you've been training, you're gearing up for the meet down in Phoenix. So take us through what's your mindset, what are you aiming for, what's happening?
So right now I'm about 3 months out from my first competition of the year. So right now it's just heavy volume, heavy load, like just lots of really hard work, lots of actual throws. So I'm doing 20 to 30 throws a session twice a day, plus lifting on top of that twice a day. So it's a lot of work. But it's like investing. Like, you know, you gotta put the work in to be able to draw it out later on in the competition season when you start to taper. So it's just like investing in a bank account. Like, you put the money in and watch it grow over the course of the years. So
that's important, isn't it? To pace yourself as you go. You want to be at the ultimate when you're at the competition, right?
Exactly. So like right now, as frustrating as it can be, like my training marks, my results aren't anywhere near where I want them to be, but that's designed to be that way. Like, my body's tired and fatigued and overloaded right now. So I'm just working more on technical stuff, building the strength, and just getting the amount of throws in that I need to do to be able to count on that later on when my training level really decreases, so that my body recovers and my nervous system recovers and gets ready to go at its prime. So it's tough. It's mentally tough. Because you want to be throwing far, you want to be doing things at the top level. But right now you physically can't. So you have to be aware of that and just realize that, you know what, if it's 10% under where you want it to be, that's okay. You know, so make it a good technical throw, make it a good technical lift, and just battle through it. You know, it's just like anything in life, really.
So let's go back a little bit. What was the thing that said, yes, I want to throw a hammer for the next 15 years? This is it.
Total fluke. Total fluke.
So what happened?
So in junior high phys ed, I tried out for the basketball team in grade 7, got cut. Tried out for the volleyball team, got cut. Just going through my first growth spurt, really awkward, not real coordinated. And the phys ed teacher at the time said, you know what, try track and field. I said, oh, great. They didn't know at the time that everybody gets to do track and field. So I thought, hey, great, I made a team. But everybody in the school gets to do it.
Yeah.
So I tried the 100 meters, tried high jump, long jump, the discus, shot put, did a little bit of everything. Thought, you know what, this is pretty fun. You know, had some success in the throwing events and the sprints, kept that going all the way through junior high, and eventually made a basketball team, made a volleyball team.
Okay.
Started kind of growing into my body. And the summer between grade 9 and 10, I went out with the Lethbridge Track and Field Club. And my very first coach, I had him for one season, was a junior high teacher in Coaldale named Ron Chmielewski. And one Saturday morning in 1999, just out of the blue, he said, oh, you want to come try hammer on a Saturday morning? I had no idea what it was, never heard of it, never seen it, but why not? You know, what have I got to lose? First time I tried it, fell down. Second time I tried it, fell down. And just thought, you know what, I got to figure this out. Over the next couple of weeks, kind of started to get a feel for it. 2 turns, like real basic technique. Ended up winning the midget provincial championship that year with like 39 meters.
Oh, wow.
You know, so it's like, oh, this is kind of fun.
Yeah.
And the next summer, so my grade 10 summer, between 10 and 11, I started with the Chinook Track and Field Club with Larry Stanky. Yeah. And the very next year, between grade 11 and 12, I made my first national team. So it just kind of snowballed from there. Wow. And then I thought, you know what, I've got a chance to do something special. You know, I'm in high school competing for Team Canada at the youth level back then.
Unbelievable.
And then again at the junior level, you know, you see the Hurricanes, how many of them make World Juniors, how many of them get to compete for Canada at that age. I'm at the age now where I'm starting to make these national teams at the youth and junior level. Let's see where it can go. You know, so I quit basketball, quit volleyball, quit rugby, and just focused on track and field. And then it just kind of grew from there.
Excellent. And then, okay, so let's fast track a little bit. Your first Olympics, that experience, Beijing, right? Is that it? First time to Beijing, the Olympics, and you did really well at Beijing. Yeah. Take us through that whole vibe, that whole feeling.
It was surreal. Yeah. Like it's something I've been working for 8 years. I still got a newspaper clipping actually from 2000 where I was asked, like, where do you see this going? And I said, you know what, right now, like I want to take it year by year, kind of step by step, but my end goal is to make the Olympic Games. And to have that come true in 2008 was, like, it was so rewarding and so satisfying, you know. And at that time, I was the first Canadian to make the Olympics in the hammer in 84 years.
Unbelievable. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was a huge accomplishment, you know, and it still hasn't really sunk in, like what that means to sport in Canada, or to track and field in Canada, to have someone finally kind of crack that goose egg, you know. And someone did win a medal back in 1924, you know, a silver medal with like 45 or 50 meters, like something like that. Yeah, so that's how much the sport has grown. Yeah. But that's also how little the sport's grown in Canada. Right, you know, like up until 2005, the Canadian record was only 72 meters. You know, and that hadn't been broken in 20 years. Wow. So to make an Olympics and to actually make the final was tremendous. So
would you say, you lost, but would you say you did as good as you possibly could have done?
I think so. Yeah. Our whole goal that year was to make the team. And then once that happened, it was, you know, let's see if we can make the final. You know, if you make the final, it's anybody's game.
Right.
Things happen. Yeah. You know, and you've seen it time and again where someone who's never supposed to win a medal steps on the podium, or someone who's supposed to win falls flat on their face.
For whatever reason. So, how much pressure did you feel, or do you feel at a competition when, especially in those stadiums, you know, the Beijing stadium packed? Yeah. You know,
so there was 85,000 people there.
Unbelievable.
And I can still remember picking out my coach's voice. Like, from all the noise, I could hear Larry talking to me. Yeah.
Jim!
So, like, that's the level of focus you have to learn to have. There's not so much pressure when you're actually doing it, it's leading up to it. Like, so you feel, like, you see the media, you feel like, okay, I got to do well to make it worthwhile for everyone else around me. Yeah. When in reality, just being there is success enough. Yeah. You know, and I felt the pressure at the final. Like during the qualifying rounds, I'd been there before at a world championship, been through the qualifying process, knew what to expect, how to handle it. It went well. Like we trained for it. Yeah. At the final, all of a sudden I stepped, like warm-up went fantastic. I'm throwing 80 meters, like ready to go, ready to, you know, in my mind, contend for a medal. Yeah. Step on the track to walk towards the circle, and my body just went and seized, because I instantly thought, you know, I'm an hour and a half away from maybe having an Olympic medal around my neck. one of us, like 3 of the 12 of us here, are coming away with medals.
So it got to your head a little bit?
It really did.
Oh, wow.
It really did. And I didn't expect that.
What could you have done differently, do you think?
Just go through that process, like being in a global final. Like if I had made the final at the World Championships the year before, I would have known how to better handle it.
Yeah.
My like this is what it's like moment was at the Olympic Games. You know, so that it was a learning experience.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I didn't get the chance to yet put it into practice what I learned.
Yeah.
So it's.
And then London came, and that was really disappointing for you,
was.
right? Yeah, because you double faulted, right?
Yeah. So the 4 years leading up to that between Beijing and London, had some personal life issues. Ended up with a couple major injuries to my feet.
Yeah,
so I missed just about 2 full years between competitions, dealing with these injuries, having surgery on both feet. Just basically getting my life back in order, and you know, to make that team after all that, after only 11 months of training, was a huge accomplishment.
Yeah.
You know, and that was a success in itself. Like there was no way I should have been on that team, and to make that team and compete for Canada again at the Olympics, and to have my parents there, it was awesome.
So what made you double fault? How is that just
felt too good?
Is that right?
Felt
You
too
just
good.
too
Yeah,
cocky. So now you're on the other side.
Yeah. Physically, I just felt too good. Like I wasn't expecting to be that ready to compete, and I just wasn't physically ready to hold the speed. So it's just one of those things, you know. It's I made my second Olympic team, you know, made that competition. But
would you like to do? Would you like grab a hammer and just go? I made the team.
Yeah, get a result. Because right now, like if you look back at the results, I'm not listed. Like, I went to that team. I've got the gear. I've got the certificates for it. I'm listed as an Olympian for that team, but I'm not in the results because I don't have an actual legal result.
Dang.
So,
Okay.
Yeah.
So now we're gearing for Rio de Janeiro. How's your Portuguese?
Non-existent. So,
but I mean, you haven't made the team yet, so this is your goal. You want to. You're saying it's 50-50. Do you think to make the team?
I think so at this point.
Yeah.
You know, my mindset is if I make the team, great. You know, I want to be on that team.
Yeah.
That's what all this training is for this year.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, if I don't make the team, it's not going to change my life in any way, shape, or form. So I'm at the point in my life where, you know, great if I go, great if I don't. I've had a good career. You know, so there's no pressure on me to make the team, which is good, and that works in my favor too. Like there's no pressure in training. It's just me and myself training right now. You know, I've just got to do the work. You know, and if things line up the way they should, I should be on that team.
And your sister's gone?
Right now, my sister is in the process of qualifying. She's got a really good chance.
And
she's training in Victoria.
And your sister-in-law?
My sister-in-law is on the team.
She's on she's
on
rugby team.
For rugby. So that's
Ashley.
Yes. So
unbelievable.
3 people from the same family.
That's just.
Make an Olympic
will
team
you go regardless if you don't make the team?
I won't. No, my brother has tickets already. So he's going obviously to support his wife.
Well, we definitely want you to all to be there because that'll be a good story.
That'll be fun.
Yeah.
That'd be a once in a lifetime thing. Like my sister and I, when we were on the team in London, there was only I think 2 or 3 sets of siblings on the entire national team. Like, across all sports. So to be part of that, and you don't see a sibling pair on an Olympic team very often. So to be included in that was very special.
Okay, I'm gonna. This is. I think I know the answer to this, but in the entire career that you had, the greatest moment.
Greatest moment. It's for me. It's tough. Like I kind of split it between 3.
Okay.
Obviously, winning the Commonwealth Games in 2014 was. That is.
And that was dedicated to your mom.
It was.
That's. So, was it that much more of a motivation for you to win it?
It was. Like I went in ranked number 1 in the Commonwealth that year. My mom passed away in April of that year. So, and I'd been working so hard towards making that happen. So I had a silver medal from 2006, and that's when I really wanted to turn into a gold medal, like for myself personally. And then, like she's always been, her and my dad have always been my number 1 supporters, and to not have her in my corner that year really was hard. And especially so soon after it happened. So to go out there and, you know, to make that transition from silver to gold, and just to make that happen. And my dad and my brother were in the stands, and to share that with them was...
That's a movie. That's a movie right there.
I mean, that is the highlight.
Yeah,
but I'm making my first Olympic team, having my mom and dad in the stands at my second Olympics, you know, winning my first national title, breaking the national record. Like I've had so many tremendous opportunities, and I've been fortunate enough, and I've worked hard enough to be able to take advantage of them too. You know, like I've won the Pan Am Games, I've won 12 national titles, I've broken the national record. You know, I've won.
No Canadian has beaten you yet either,
not
right?
as a senior, no. So this is
what you got to get this year.
I'm very proud of that.
Yeah,
so.
that's fantastic. What's the village like?
It's a zoo.
Yeah.
It's honestly, like when you're competing, you don't feel the same amount of pressure as you do in the village. Because you're surrounded by 15,000 athletes that are there to win a gold medal. Like they're there to represent their country. They've worked their entire lives towards this moment, and you can cut the stress with a knife.
Oh,
like
everybody's really.
You can feel the vibration in the air of like people are just fired up and ready to go.
Yeah.
And you can see them physically relax. Like it just goes away once they're done competing. Good or bad, it's just it's like a deep breath.
Yeah.
You know, and it's not a party like everyone, like the media makes it out to be.
You're not.
Because you're there to do a job.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, the parties all happen outside the village. Like it's very respectful that way. Like people understand that there's other people that work just as hard or harder than them to be at this point in their lives. There's a respect there. So yeah, there are some parties in the village, but it's not a debacle like the mainstream media makes it out to be. So
here's the $1 million question. If steroids has been an issue all through all the Olympic years, what's your take on someone saying, "All right, tell you what, screw it, everyone take steroids, we don't care"?
I'd quit.
Would you?
I'd quit.
Because
what would it prove?
Yeah.
You know, like I've done what I've done on my own natural ability, my hard work.
Yeah.
I don't care what some other substance would help me do. It's not me. It's not my result. You know, at the end of the day, I have to look at myself in the mirror, look my family in the face, look my community in the face, and say, you know what, I gave this my all. This is what I accomplished. You know, and take it or leave it.
How do you come out on guys that have been caught cheating, like like in Ben Johnson? Can you forgive?
Nope. Nope. And I understand that there was a time where everyone was doing it, and you had to do that to be competitive, whatever. Now, especially nowadays, like I get drug tested every month, every couple of weeks. I get drug tested, you know. And there was a guy at the national championships last year for Team Canada. In my event, silver medal, tested positive for 3 different substances, got stripped. You know, I lost every respect I had for him.
Wow.
You know, I've lost opportunities. I've lost prize money. I've lost the chance to be in a world final because of it. I finished 13th at the 2007 World Championships. 2 guys since tested positive, so I'm a World Championship finalist without competing in the final. You know, so there's that kind of thing happening. You know, I've missed out on medals because of it.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, it sucks. I've missed out on thousands of dollars in prize money because of it.
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe some possible endorsements. Who knows?
Yeah, yeah.
So it sucks. You're being robbed, basically.
Yeah. So totally.
No.
Yeah, that's good.
No, if you take it, that's on you. That's you. If your conscience can handle it, great.
Yeah.
I have no respect for it.
Yeah. So that leads me into a Lance Armstrong and to a Barry Bonds.
Yep. Pro sports, it's, you know, I hate to say it because it sounds so stupid, but it's a little different. You know, you're a commodity at that point. Like cycling, not so much. You know, I lost a lot of respect for that because he lied all the way through. Like it was a sham.
Constantly.
You know, and I kind of worshipped him.
Yeah.
Like when he first came out, first started winning, like I had all his books, I had posters of him, burned them all. As soon as I did. I lit them on fire. You know, but pro athletes, you know, with the amount of money that changes hands, the amount of money that those businesses as teams make, you're a game piece rather than an athlete. You're a chess piece.
Yeah.
You know, and you have to be able to put that product on the ice or on the court or on the field and do it every week to the best of your ability. I can understand how there's that lure. Yes, it's not an actual athletic ability when you start taking those substances, but at the same time, you're a cog in the wheel for your boss, your GM, your team owner to make money.
Yeah.
Yes, you're making lots of money. Yes, you're risking injury. You're risking, in some instances, death.
Yeah.
Doing what you do as an athlete.
Yeah.
So yeah, like you want to make yourself safe, make yourself able to compete at that level, to make that kind of money, to be the piece on the board for your team.
Yeah.
I can understand it.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily like it. I still watch pro sports. I still cheer for my teams, my athletes. It's a different level. Like for an amateur sport, like yes, we're technically amateur, but we're not under the same banner of amateur athletes that it was 30 years ago.
Right.
Like we do make money, we do make endorsements. It's not the same.
Yeah.
You know, there's a different kind of expectation on us.
So should Barry Bonds be in the Hall of Fame?
who knows how far back it goes too, right? Like how many guys in the Hall of Fame were taking it and never got caught? You know, that's the thing. Like, what do they start from scratch, or do they go back and retest stuff? You know, it's tough to say.
I think Babe Ruth's biggest vice was beer.
Yep. You know, it's tough. Like drinking during Prohibition, like that's a prohibited substance. Do you get nailed for that? Like Pete Rose with gambling. You know, did that affect his ability?
Where do you come out on that one?
I could care less.
Sorry,
you know, if for him, it never affected his ability. It never affected, you know, what he did as an athlete. Why not put him in? You know, that's just
nobody else has 4,000 hits like he did.
Exactly.
So, I find that odd.
You know, gambling doesn't get him hits.
Yeah.
At the end of the day,
So who's your big heroes, right? I mean, you've met a few guys at the villages, right? So take us through a couple of those.
You know, I met LeBron James.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, he's a great guy.
He's very tall.
He is. I've met him. I've met so many great Canadian athletes, like Adam Creek off the kayak the rowing team. Adam Van Koeverden.
Did you meet Rownage?
Yes, he was actually my roommate.
Oh yeah.
We were apartment mates in London.
Wow.
So yeah, that was before he kind of came onto the scene. So it was kind of neat to get to chat. He wouldn't have a clue who I am now, but it was neat to kind of pick his brain on tennis and what it's like on the pro circuit for that. You know, Katrina LeMaidon, like she's hands down one of my top 5 sport heroes.
Are the people in the hammer throw and javelin and that type of you know, track and field, is there a specific personality that you all have, or are you just the same as anybody?
For the most part, a lot of like the throwing events especially really kind of stick together. Like we're really supportive of each other because like we're not the sprints, we're not on TV, we're not getting the endorsement deals, we're not getting the recognition of doing the same amount of work as the sprinters or the jumpers. So we're almost like a family that way. Like it's a close-knit group. We're all, and at the end of the day, we just want to see big results, whether it's a big throw or a big record or that kind of thing. Like I remember cheering on some of my friends at the Olympics, like some of the guys I've competed against many times, whether it's from Germany or from the USA, cheering them on like for a big result, and something happens, great, congratulate them and celebrate with them.
That's
and the same thing with me.
Yeah. The Olympics are all about that, isn't it? It's competing. Do your best you can. Cheer on.
We have these so-called rivalries with each other, but at the end of the day, like you're pushing each other to be better. And that's what it's all about.
Having said that, is there anybody you want me to talk to? So Victoria, Phoenix. Phoenix is next, and then is that where you qualify, or that's a competition?
That's one of the ones that I can qualify. I'll probably do between 10 and 12 meets this year, between the U.S., Western Canada. Like we'll have one here in Lethbridge on May long weekend.
Oh, great.
I'm going to be doing 1 or 2 for sure in Vancouver this year. I'd like to get back to Saskatoon and do one.
Okay. And then when will you know that you've qualified or not?
I have until July 10th. Okay. That's the cutoff date. So
that's when you got to hit that 74-meter mark? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, between 75 and 77, somewhere in there. Yeah. So as long as I'm at that range before July 10th, I should be good to go. Okay. My goal this year is just to get over 75, you know, get back to the level I was at in 2014 now that my body's healthy again, and see what happens. Okay. You know, that's all I can do.
Okay, if you win the gold medal, can I shave your beard?
Yeah, absolutely.
One final question. Yes. Super Bowl. Broncos? Broncos, Carolina.
Well, since my Patriots aren't in, I want to see Peyton go out. Yeah. I want to see him go out on top. Yeah. You know, he's been one of my favorite football players to watch. Like, yes, he's my team's rival quarterback, but you know, he's done it all. And then
we won't talk about the growth hormone thing that they're talking about.
Yeah. Who knows with that? But yeah, I hope Denver wins.
Okay, Denver.
Yep.
Jim, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks.